Hi, I'm Mickey Newting, Senior Editor at Gallery Books, and I'm sitting here with New York Times bestseller Emma Chase, the author of the Tangled series.
I've always been a reader, and I love books. I've always written. Once I had my kids and I was home with them, I started taking a creative writing course at a local college just for my own enjoyment, for a hobby. Tangled came from that. The assignment was to write one scene from a book. So on the way home, I had heard Womanizer by Britney Spears. But there were a couple lines that really just kind of stuck out at me. And I immediately had this idea of this guy who has this great life and has everything going for him. And I liked the idea of, a wrench being thrown into that life in the form of, this beautiful, ambitious, competitive woman. I loved the character so much, I had so much fun with it, that I just kept going with it until Tangled was finished. Once I finished writing Tangled, actually, I started writing Twisted right away, because Tangled is from Drew's point of view, which was so much fun, but I was limiting because there was so much about Kate that I knew that I couldn't share with readers, unless Drew knew it too.
Sure, and she is such a match for him.
Yes, she's a fantastic character. I started writing Twisted from her perspective. It starts 2 years later. And then, after Twisted was finished, by then Tangled had been published. And the characters there was still so much story of them to tell. They're like my favorite television show to watch in my head.
I like that. We want a television show with Drew and Kate. Anybody who's listening.
Yes, I would watch. And after Twisted, a lot of the readers fell in love with the best friends that are featured in Tangled, which is Dolores and Matthew. They wanted to hear more about their story.
Yeah.
And what excited me about doing Tame, that's book 3, that's Matthew and Dee's story, was the chance to kind of fill in all the blanks, because Tame takes place during Tangled. So it was just so much fun to see kind of, like a Broadway show, the spotlight's on center stage, but all this other stuff is going on,
Parallel
stage
universe.
right. Exactly. Yeah. And that was so much fun to be able to do that.
Yeah. And readers love that,
Yes.
Getting another story, it enlarges your world.
Yes.
Then
final full-length book in the series is Tide, and I'm so excited about Tide. It is bittersweet. It's back to Drew's point of view, but it is just the most fun, the best way to kind of finish off the series. We get to see, where Drew and Kate are 2 years after Twisted, and there's a wedding and wedding preparations.
But as much as I love that series, I can't wait for the new one.
Oh,
Legal Briefs.
The Legal Brief series. I'm so excited for that. It's a little bit scary to be starting a new series, because the Tangled characters are so beloved by, readers and by myself.
Sure.
But it is a great experience to dive into new characters. It's set in Washington, D.C. It's lawyers, which are always, fun characters to work with. So it's turning out to be some really, fantastic scenes and great stuff. One of the edits that you made for one of the scenes was like, or
Oh, yeah, we're not saying that on the video.
We just did.